Okay, let's switch into Visual Studio now. I will create a new project just to show you step by step how we can create and how fast we can create such an application. I will copy and paste some of the code I already made so that we save up some time, but I will explain step by step what we have to do.
And all of this will be open sourced later. As we publish these tutorials, all this code will be made available on our GitHub repository in the Darwin API tutorials repository.
I just see that my Visual Studio is in German. I have to switch it to English now.
You don't have to switch it. That's all right. You work in
Okay.
the environment that you're comfortable in.
All right.
Developers don't care. Like,
okay, I'm sorry.
project configuren. No, it's probably a new project configuration. There you go. I mean, like, I don't need to know German to understand what's going on.
I'm sorry. So
no, you shouldn't be sorry. This is your environment. You work in what you're comfortable in. Let's go.
Yeah. Okay, we have here our project name where we want to save it, and we will just select the newest .NET framework. We don't need everything from the latest .NET framework. So if you have an earlier version, it's okay too. So just create this one. We will create a VPF application. Okay. VPF is the Windows Presentation Foundation. I like it because it's easy to get a GUI using it, because we can use this XAML code. XAML is a description language for the GUI, and we will see how powerful it is by using it now. So, for example, we just create here our main window. We just call it Darwinex test application, and make it a little bit bigger, because we like to have a little bit more space to put all our stuff together on the forms. So that was the first step, and now we have to build up a grid, or we could use a stack panel too, but I've used a grid just to define the rows and the columns we want to use. For here, I just put this here. I will not go into every detail, because
we shouldn't either. No.
Yeah, if you want to know more about this and how it works, you can just have a look at the C# VPF tutorial. But I just created many.
Or as developer colleagues tell each other, if you have a question, read the code.
Read the code.
What are you asking me for? Read the code.
I will now put the first buttons here, the first components here. So the next step, I just put here the URL, and I just tell them where it should be placed. For example, here the row and the column. And I just put here the.
So this is where you're configuring all the various components that will go into your test app.
That's right.
Okay.
And everything you see here is just we need for the first step, so that we can initialize our data. What we can do is to put our access token here into that already. I would just copy my one, just to give you make it easier for you. So wait, not this.
I would recommend that after this video, you expire that token.
Yeah, of course.
Unless you want to see a million different weird orders on your on your Darwin terminal, I highly recommend you expire that token.
I just saw that I already defined text. That's the reason why it doesn't render it. But I will for sure disable it. So don't use it. It will not work.
No, please use it. It won't work.
Okay, so in our code, we just see there's nothing besides the initialize component call, and we have here a click event for internet initialize already.
And this is actually one of the benefits here of considering, for at least for perhaps UI development, C# is that you can incorporate all your configuration in easy to use XAML files, and that loads automatically into your WPF.
That's right.
UI.
So here we have a new event handler we want to create by on a click, and by using that we have the great tool from C# that will create already an event handler. And we will first go now here and create an API call. So before we can call our API, we have to consider how we want to call this API. So one possibility is to make a web request. Just use the web request possibility of C#. It will work, and it will be much work because you have to parse the results by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And the great thing about C# is that there are so many tools out there that will help you to save time and money in that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's why we want to use the Visual Studio implemented REST API auto-generating tool that will create us automatically the classes that are help us to call the API.